Hallo meine lieben Freunde, was geht, was ist, guten Tag. Es ist dein Lieblings-YouTuber James Bray und ich reagiere heute auf how does learning about Germany's past feel to Germans? Yeah, very interesting. I've always wondered, maybe, like I have a good idea. I honestly have a very good idea of how it is. But maybe I might learn something completely new that I didn't know before. So, if you guys are new to the channel, willkommen. If you guys are returning viewers, willkommen zurück. We post videos every single day, and you guys give me suggestions, and I check them out. This was a suggestion given to me in the Discord by, I guess, a couple of individuals, and I wanted to go react to this today. So, it's off of Don't Trust the Rabbit's page. So go ahead and trust the rabbit and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to her channel. Original link will be in the description down below as always. But I wanna definitely dive into this and check this out, because I just finished reacting to the German reunification and stuff like that video, and that was very interesting, very informative, and I want to see if this can add on to what I just learned, in addition to what I already know. That'll be very interesting turn of events. But let's not waste any more time, man. Los geht's!
Hey Rabbits, it's Trixie, and today
Whoa, 1 second please. Why does your hair look like a microwave guinea pig?
Damn.
Thank you. That was a very suiting description of my looks. It's because I just took a shower and I wanted to let my hair dry in the sun, so I hope that's okay for today. What I wanted to say is that in today's video, I want to tell you something about how I got to know about Germany's past. I mean, if you are an adult, no matter where you come from, whether it's Germany or another country, you pretty surely know about Germany's past.
Oh, yes. And the way they taught it in school was definitely unforgettable. Very unforgettable.
And when I say Germany's past, I'm pretty sure you all know what I'm talking about. Just in case you're expecting this right now, this video is not supposed to be a history lesson. I don't know if you are aware of that, but YouTube is a bit difficult with delicate topics, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about what happened back then. I'm pretty sure that you all at least have a rough...
Oh, this was happening right after the apocalypse or whatever. Like the adpocalypse. I said apocalypse. The adpocalypse on YouTube, because this was posted in July 9th, 2017. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's when YouTube updated their policy, so you couldn't really talk about certain things at that time. Even now, like, it's gotten a lot more difficult to
idea of what was going on, and that's enough for this video. There are many videos out there, and I also made some myself, that deal with stereotypes about Germany. But all of these videos kinda take it for granted that everybody knows what happened in Germany, especially the Germans. They must know, right? But of course, even Germans are not born with this information implemented in our brains. Somebody has to tell us about it, or we have to get to know it some other way. And since I feel that there is too little information on how it actually feels to a German to get to know about this whole National Socialism thing for the first time in his or her life, I decided to give you exactly that insight today. Two warnings beforehand: I did not write a script for this video. The only thing I did was taking a shower and thinking about the topic for a while. We all know that the best ideas come when we are under the shower, right? And note a few keywords every now and then when a thought hit me. This is not because I'm lazy or I didn't find the time.
Actually, fun fact, I don't script any of my other videos, my commentary videos, where I'm talking about like other topics and stuff. I'd never script them, dude. I just roll with it, because I feel like it's a lot better. It's more raw when you do it that way. Now, it's also really cool when you do script your videos, because it makes it sound more structured, more organized. A really good channel that you guys have seen me react to over and over again is German Girl in America. I'm pretty sure she scripts her videos, because her videos are super organized, very clean cut. I feel like she's like at the top person, and her and Don't Trust the Rabbit are the top two people I would definitely go to when it comes to I guess, like, information on Germany, especially past stuff, and learning about how to pronounce things and things of the nature. Because I don't know, like, they're very well structured videos. I'm like, oh wow, That's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. I like it, you know?
To prepare a script. It's because I feel like a delicate topic like this is best approached spontaneously. I want this whole narration to be natural and authentic and coming out of my heart. So if this video appears a bit less structured or clumsy, or if you hear a few during the time, that's the reason for it. Second thing, this is my personal experience, so this does not mean at all that this happened to all Germans.
Well, that's true. Everybody reacts to the information that they receive very differently, and I mean, we're all individuals, so it makes a lot of sense. But this is actually very interesting, hearing like her perspective on this, and that's what I wanted to know. I mean, maybe I know she speaks for herself when she's about to communicate how she reacted when she received the information about, you know, Germany's past and stuff like that, but it might actually resonate with a lot of people that learned about it as well. But the big question I have for you guys is, for all the people that are following me from Germany, when you guys learned about the history in Germany and stuff like that, like, how did you react to it? You know, like, was it scary? Was it like, I don't care? Or was it like, I don't know, I'm curious. Let me know in the comments down below, because learning about America's past with us, like, just the stuff that happened within America, it was, I don't know, it was definitely emotionally charging, if to say the least, you know. So I know, like, learning about Germany's past had to have some kind of impact emotionally on somebody, you know. I would at least think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm very curious. So please let me know in the comments down below. I would like to digest and understand how impactful this was.
But at least I am German. I can tell you how it was for me. Alright, so how did I learn about Germany's past? First of all, I should mention that my stepfather, who we lived with, was a teacher for politics and math.
Oh,
so,
wow.
You know, maybe I was a special case because we had all these books, like a ton of books about this period of time in our house. It was just a matter of time until I grabbed one of them and took a look into it. I think the first time I did that, I was like 10 or 11 years old, and all of this didn't mean that much to me. You know, these books were written in a really complicated way. I just saw like soldiers and political stuff, and I didn't care much about it. I also didn't understand that this was about Germany's history. But the older I grew, the more I understood. And I remember that at some point I had a cold and I had to stay in bed, and I watched a documentary about Germany's history. And there, for the first time, it kinda hit me that this is what happened not actually that long ago. And you know, the documentary didn't seem that bad at first because it started pretty harmless. The elections, the political influences, the changes inside of Germany. But of course, at some point things got nasty, and I got to know everything about the Holocaust. You know, I was like 12 or 13. I had a cold, so my head was not working properly, so for that day it was fine. But the moment I got better, I noticed that this documentary hadn't left my head. All of this was still inside of there, all the pictures and the information I got. So I started researching more and more, writing down stuff. I created a whole folder of information. I gathered everything I could find.
That's actually, it's very interesting. When, I mean, obviously this is about, how Germans feel about their own past and stuff like that. I remember for the very first time, and I had to be in 5th grade myself. I was also 10 years old. We had just started covering World War II, and that was probably the longest history lesson we had in that ever, like literally ever. Like normally history lessons, like for different points in history, took maybe like 2 or 3 days to cover. Then we had to do a bunch of worksheets and whatever. But this, I remember like covering World War II. It was such a big topic and such a serious topic. It took like I want to say almost months to cover, like there was so many like layers to this pie or to this cake, and it was just like, oh my God, like it was insane. We had projects that we had to do about it, homework assignments, and it was just like, and of course it was just so like gut-wrenching for all of us. I know I was one of the kids that just outside of school, I would watch documentaries on it, read books, and everything, anything associated with it I had to get my hands on, because I wanted to see like as many different angles of this as possible, because it was just crazy to me how so much was going on at one time. I mean, people think the focal point of World War II was obviously Germany, but then people forget about all the other countries that were involved. I didn't even realize Russia was involved at all. I didn't realize Russia was involved at all. Like, they briefly mentioned Russia when they were covering it, but like and by briefly, it was like maybe a week or two, but like they really harped up on Germany the most. But like, when you really dig into it, like Japan was involved, like obviously Poland was involved, like a bunch of other countries were involved before America even stepped foot into it. So it was just really eye-opening to see the chaos that unfolded from that time period, and then pretty much dissecting piece by piece, you know, how it happened, and even the perspectives of people who didn't want to be a part of it at all, but didn't have a choice because their country had all pretty much decided for them. It's wild, man. It's so wild. Like, and I know it's a very emotional topic, but this is just obviously from my perspective growing up and remembering covering stuff like that. But this is wild, man.
During this period of time, you could say I was basically obsessed with Germany's history, or this part of Germany's history. I wanted to know everything. Of course, I also asked my father and my mother for books and information, but let's say the relationship between me and my stepfather was not the best, so we never had a really interesting talk about it, which is actually a pity. But surely the books helped, and my parents could give me the right influences to keep going with my research. I don't even know how to describe this feeling about Germany's past that I had, because on one hand I was purely shocked. I was disgusted about what happened, and these true horrors of what happened were inside of me, and I couldn't believe that this is actually something that people could do. On the other hand, I was fascinated in a negative way by the manipulation that was going on, by how easy it was in the end to make something like that happen. You know, when you're a kid or a teenager, things like war and violence seem so pointless and weird to you. I wish we would never stop seeing these things like a child. Because it is pointless and weird. But yeah, with my naive mind, I couldn't grasp all of this.
She brought up a really good point, because I remember my friends and I would talk about this in high school a lot. Like, I remember one of my friends, she said that, like, yo, like, why wars? Like, why do we war a lot? Like, why do we go to war a lot? Like why can't we just be peaceful and everything? But when you get older, you understand why. It still doesn't make any sense, but it does at the same time. Like if it was up to me, I wouldn't choose to go to war, obviously. But like, you know, when the wars happen and you look at why they were started, you understand why. But you're like, there could have been a better way to solve this problem without people losing lives over it, you know? It's just, I feel like it all ties into a lot of things, but it's unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate. And the thing is, like, when people think of wars, I think typically people just think of the two warring parties, like the soldiers versus the other soldiers. No one ever thinks about the casualties in between, like the actual civilians that get caught up in the crossfire, and, you know, societies that are altered because of events like that. It's super crazy, man. And it's very sad to see. But that's why I want to learn more about all of this. So, you know, they say, like, the more you educate yourself on topics like that, right, the less likely it is to happen again, because you have a very good grasp as to what happened in the past, why it started, and how you can prevent it from happening in the future. And it all starts with just simply educating yourself. And I feel like, you know, watching videos like this, historical videos, reading books, and asking people in person who've had family members that have experienced those times, it really helps you understand the depth and the gravity related to all of that. And it's very important, I feel like.
Just like, how on earth did no one see that coming? How could we not intervene? Now, being quite a bit older, I see more perspectives of the whole thing, of course. Yeah. I understand how difficult and risky it was to try to do something about it, for example. But back then, and maybe also now, I'm still just speechless. So yeah, as I said, I was obsessed. I was just researching day and night, basically because I wanted to know everything. I wanted to be informed about what happened. I bought movies and books and documentaries with my pocket money, and I remember that my main motivation was to understand this whole thing from the roots, so that whenever something like that occurred again, I would notice and I would know what to do, which is a thought and an intention that I'm pretty proud of because, you know, I understood that I have to start from scratch to understand the whole system and how it developed. That something like that is like a disease, like a virus that grows and grows, and maybe at first you don't even notice, but there is something there already.
You know what's actually interesting about this too, what she brought up, is over the years, right? Like I remember, like, imagine how hard it was to collect all that information back in the day. Like, you know, most of this information was only available in libraries and stuff, in books. And, you know, at the time, a lot of people either read books or they didn't. You're like, it's too much work walking to the library and doing all that other craziness. But as of 2007, you know, after the iPhone got released and they had, like, you know, websites and web browsers on your phone that you can instant access to, like, having all that information at your fingertips was the thing, you know. And I mean, obviously you can say prior to 2007 as well, but definitely from 2007 on up, because after the iPhone came out, you know, obviously all the information that you would have access to on your computer that, you know, maybe you didn't have as much access to, you now have access to on your phone. So if you ever needed to ask a question, do some research, you have all this information at your fingertips. So you can actually get all of the information start to finish on your phone in a matter of days, weeks, you know, maybe less than weeks, maybe in a matter of a week, if you do enough research and just spend, you know, a week just looking everything up, and you have a full grasp, a full understanding of all of this. I mean, we're in the day and age of hyper information. Like we have information at our fingertips at a hyper speed. So you're able to learn about things like this a lot quicker and understand the consequences and repercussions of events like this a lot more effectively based on the technology that we have today, which is absolutely remarkable. I think it's really cool, man. But yeah, she makes a very good point, seriously.
Days or weeks of this going on unnoticed can make a big difference. So this is basically how I got to know about Germany's past. Of course, since I was a child, my research was not the best. Sometimes I noted down things that just didn't matter that much, or I misinterpreted things, but at least I tried to educate myself. And I also feel that this age, 12, 13, 14, was a good age for me to get into touch with it. Which is what makes me question whether or not the school system deals with this topic in the best way. In Germany, schools teach about this topic in the grades 9 or 10, depending on the school type and the state.
Oh, wow, that's a bit late. Like, oh, dang, they taught us when we were like 5th grade.
Living in. This means that you're around 14 to 18 when you get into touch with it for the first time in a professional way. And you know, professional is still questionable because, you know, different schools, different teachers, the quality of the classes, so many different approaches. You can be lucky with your teacher, but it can also be a mess. I would say I myself was very lucky because I had a very, very good history teacher. I remember him approaching the topic in a very respectful and professional way. He seemed emotionally moved himself, but not biased. So he taught us the right things without indoctrinating us. He let our own feelings develop, which is very, very important. He showed us various and interesting material, trying to approach the whole topic from different perspectives. Also, we were discussing a lot. We had freedom to say what we were thinking, ask our questions, which is something I appreciate a lot as a student. You know, school should not be like...
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be like people just throwing information at you and expecting it to just stick without you asking anything or challenging the information that you're receiving. That makes a lot of sense.
It's about figuring stuff yourself, making up your mind. So if you see that, Herzach, that was awesome. So what I meant with questionable is it early enough to teach teenagers about this topic? I was confronted with it much earlier, and it would have been important for me to have somebody professional to talk to. On the other hand, as I said, maybe I was a special case and other children would have been disturbed by getting to know about this earlier. So with this video, I don't want to blame schools for teaching about that subject pretty late. I guess there is a reason for defining this point of time as...
That's actually pretty interesting that they would teach that so late. Like I said, I learned about this when I was 10 in school, and we would relearn about this in high school as well, and go even deeper into it. But they definitely taught us in schools as like little kids, like, you know, what this part of history was and da-da-da. It was wild, man.
Right time to teach children about it. But what I do want to mention is that parents should be aware whether or not their children want to get to know something about Germany's past, and they should educate themselves on this topic again to be ready for questions. What I mean is that besides sex education, parents should also consider historical education.
True.
And of course, that does not only apply to Germany. I think that if you sense that your child is interested in the history, the political history of the country it lives in, you should be there for him or her as a person to talk to, as a reliable source of information and open for a conversation. Sure,
Absolutely.
that also means that you yourself have to read about all of that again and try to transform it into something child-friendly. Try to
Yeah,
grasp
makes
and
sense.
recapture all of that yourself and put it in a very simple way. I know that sounds difficult and it may cost you a bit of time, but I would say it's totally worth it. And I can imagine what you're maybe thinking. My child is like 10 years old. Why am I supposed to tell him something horrible if school does the same job a bit later? And you know what I mean is not that you should try to be the school for your child. It shouldn't be a 2-hour conversation. 10 or 15, 20 minutes is enough. Just get some things in your child's head straight.
Yeah, it's like a spark note. It's like a really quick summary of like what your child should expect and stuff like from this historical period, summed up in a way where they can easily ingest it. I mean, the better you know the situation, the easier it'll be for you to explain it to somebody like that. You know, it makes a lot of sense.
The thing is that children are confronted with this topic much earlier than you may expect.
Especially with technology
maybe your
now.
child is into computer games and
Yep.
they play online on international servers. It is inevitable that your child will be confronted with political terminology. And I'm not talking about confrontation in a neutral way, more like the nasty, insulting kind.
Well, yeah, I remember when I played online for the first time ever. I was a kid, man. I was a little kid. I was playing Modern Warfare 2. Matter of fact, Modern Warfare 2 came out when I was in high school, I want to say. Maybe it was a little bit before then. Yeah, it was before then, actually. Because, yeah. So I played Modern Warfare 2 online, and man, the people in them mics, bruh, they were turning up twice, bruh. Turning up twice. I'm like, damn, yo, chill out. Chill out.
So at least he or she should know what all of this means, right? Why the whole world is calling him or her weird names. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not at all against computer games or media, internet in general. I played video games myself from since I have fingers and my boyfriend is a programmer. I'm just saying that some dangers are there and these things are inevitable. So knowing about this and informing your child about why this is happening is very important in my opinion. But of course it's not only computer games. Since we have the internet, hate and all of this is everywhere. So at least the basic aspects of history and terminology should be communicated. I mean, just check out the comment section under my video, Things I Hate About Germany. Grab some popcorn and enjoy.
Damn.
This video, I'm talking about grocery shopping, about taxes, and about German movies. And the whole comment section turned into a political discussion nightmare.
Oh,
it doesn't even
dang.
deserve the name discussion. It's just hate and racism and blah. I was so
dang.
close to just disabling comments, but then again, muting hate is not really helping against it.
Exactly. It just festers and builds up somewhere else. And I wish YouTube would understand that. Because YouTube's approach is like, well, if it's not on our platform, it's not our problem. But no, literally, that means that somebody can create a social media platform that generates hate and builds and festers a lot of people who are not able to freely express their opinions on a public forum. I feel like getting your opinion out there, no matter how controversial it is important, because the rest of the world can see that and either respond accordingly, ingest the information and try to see where you're coming from. They might not agree with it, but see where you're coming from and try to find ways to combat that kind of mentality. It's just, I feel like you shouldn't censor any way of thinking, no matter how controversial it is. I feel like just because it almost pushes one unified narrative, which gets tiresome, and it's I don't know, I feel like it's detrimental, but that's a conversation for another time.
Anyway, what I want to say is that this video doesn't deal at all with German history, yet there are some experts sharing their poisonous thoughts. Now, a rough suggestion is that not everyone watching my channel is 14 or 15 plus. So if a child, be it coming from Germany or any other place, finds his way there, what is he or she gonna think about that? What is he or she gonna make out of that? Gee, it doesn't even have to be the internet. Just go to a playground. You will find a swastika somewhere there.
Jesus.
Most likely painted there by other kids that didn't understand what that means. They just understand it's something forbidden, so it's interesting and funny, and they do it. So yeah, that's why my advice to parents is gather some information, try to put it in words that a child can understand, and share it with your offspring. Being a parent means that you are a gardener, and you can plant the right seeds into your child's mind. You cannot make tomatoes grow on apple trees, but you can help these healthy plants to grow. So yeah, that's mein Wort zum Sonntag. Alright, Babitz.
Very, 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 very well put together. Thank you guys all the way, by the way, for recommending this video. If you guys have any other suggestions like this, let me know in the comments down below. But honestly, give me your thoughts and feelings on this. I think this is a very important video, very important discussion, and I know it might open up a can of worms, but I don't care. I want to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions on this matter and whatnot. So once again, thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure checking this out, and once again, go check her out as well. She's very, very, very awesome when it comes to stuff like this and other things related to Germany, and even content that has nothing to do with Germany. It's just very interesting content she has on her channel, so definitely go subscribe to her. Don't Trust the Rabbit is her name. You can find it through the link in the description down below. But that's pretty much it, and until the next time I see you guys again, bis später Leute, ciao! Hey, what's up? Did you guys subscribe to the channel? Did you subscribe to the channel? Well, if you haven't, make sure you do that. Also, we do have a Discord. The Discord link is always going to be in the description down below on any of my videos, and it's dope. What we do on Discord is pretty simple. A lot of you guys I'm collecting you guys from a bunch of different countries, a bunch of different places, and you guys want to teach me a whole bunch of stuff. You guys can join the Discord and teach me anything. You can send me any kind of messages and stuff. You can actually post memes. You could participate in the community and just make friends. Just go ahead and join the Discord and see what kind of situation you're getting into for yourself. Also, there's going to be some giveaways in the future. There's going to be some giveaways, but to create some incentive for that, I need you guys to follow me on Instagram. Are you guys following me on Instagram? You know what my Instagram looks like? Probably don't know what my Instagram name is. It's right there. Just go ahead and check it out. Check it out. Check it out. It's dope. Just follow me on Instagram. I do live streams every day. I try to, engage with you guys in every way possible. I know not a lot of creators are very engaging with their fan base. I try to be engaging. So just go ahead and check it out. There's no harm, no foul. Follow me on Twitter too. I honestly am trying to grow my Twitter, but I don't really post that often on there. But when I do, you guys will be the first to see whatever post those will be. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you guys want shout outs or whatever, I don't know, we have a lot of upcoming independent artists that have been hitting me up as of late. I might create a series where I favor my international independent artists and stuff, and I might promote you guys for free, but it might just be 1 or 2 a week, and you guys can give me some feedback on that. But all to say, follow me on my social medias. All right, if you guys aren't doing that already, you need to do that because that's a pretty big deal. I'll see you guys later, but enjoy the content I create. It's gonna be random reaction videos, a lot of everything. Reaction videos, vlogs, challenges, cooking videos, gaming videos, anything you guys suggest when you join my Discord or message me on Instagram. But I'll see you guys soon. Take care and follow me. Peace!